how to become a highly paid JavaScript developer. I am so excited to share all of this stuff with you, okay? I'm going to go through a list of points in this, and then Naz is going to share some of his points, who is also one of the main instructors for this course. So there are about 7 steps to become a highly paid JavaScript developer. Now these points are pretty agnostic of a specific programming language. You can use these to help you out kind of anywhere you really want. But let's talk about them. I'm going to start off from, it's gonna be listed 1 through 7. Naz is gonna jump in and he's gonna answer some of these points as well, who's the co-instructor for this course. He's an awesome dude, so excited to have him in this course. You guys are gonna love him. Make sure you're engaging in the Facebook community and everywhere. That's how you're gonna get the most value out of this course. So let's get into number 1. This is an amazing value that I was even talking with my girlfriend today. We were eating breakfast at Vivian's in LA, and I told her, I was like, you know what my number 1 value is? And she's like, what? I'm like, I could tell you it's some crazy value and sound pompous and amazing, but in reality, the number 1 value for me is actually fun. It's very, very important. If something is fun, I will overcome any obstacle that gets in my way. If it's not fun, it is very difficult for me. So know your personality type, especially if you have a personality type and you resonate with me. That might be one of your values, and I feel like it is most people's. If you enjoy the thing, you will keep going no matter what happens. 2, hard work. I want you to deeply understand this mindset, please. This is going to be a lot of hard work on your end. So if you don't enjoy it, it's gonna be a very miserable journey. And I want you to get in the mindset of that you're gonna be putting in this work over a longer period of time. When you are coding and you're solving problems, you're gonna run into really difficult things. And if you're a little bit more advanced, you have been working on projects and you know what it feels like to open up your Sublime Text or your Visual Studio Code or whatever is your favorite IDE, and that cursor is blinking, and it is terrifying because you don't even know where to begin to actually start coding this project and then all the way to its completion. So just keep that in mind, that coding is a hard thing. Number 3, patience. This is one very important thing. I want you to think in terms of years, not weeks and not months. If you have your North Star in the programming world, which is like, hey, I want to get a job as a junior developer, or I want to become a freelance developer, or I want to become a developer, I want you to think in terms of years, because anything shorter than that is just a bonus. But if it doesn't happen in a few weeks or a few months, you're not gonna be frustrated. You're gonna keep moving towards. So have the mindset of years, because years is where you start to become really, really, really good, where you become so good it's hard to ignore you. So please just keep that in mind as you're progressing in your journey, to have that mindset of the long game. Think in terms of 3 to 5 years. You're gonna be dedicated to this, and you're gonna keep becoming better. If you have the fun aspect, the hard work aspect, you are mentally prepared for the grind, you've chosen something that's fun for you, which hopefully programming is, you're not just doing it for money. 3, and you have patience, and you're thinking in terms of years, I think you are going to be well on your track to become a highly paid JavaScript developer. This is it from me. Now, I want you to stick around and listen to what Naz has to say, because he's an absolute killer. So I'm gonna let Naz take it away from here. Enjoy.
How you doing, everybody? This is Naz, everybody. And so the other take on becoming a highly paid JavaScript developer is team of cooperation. Very important part when you're working as a freelancer, when you're working as a contractor or full-time. Because the thing is, nobody wants to work with an asshole. I mean, you know what? I don't want to work with an asshole. And so in order for you to be a good team communicator, you have to think about a few things. One is communicating everything that you're doing to your team. any problems that you might be having, communicating what things you're working on. I see too many developers who just like they're trying to hide. It's my code. You can't touch it. It's my code, right? You don't want to do that, right? Be very open. Other thing is be kind and help others, guys. Just kindness. If someone asks you for help, provide them help, and then don't be afraid to ask for help others. Don't be afraid to ask for help from others as well. That's very important because that shows your interest, and so you will be able to learn, and at the same time, someone else in your team might be able to learn. Okay. Another thing is always give credit. That's a very important one. Always give credit where credit is due. There might be people that help you out, and the thing is, you want to recognize them for that. When you go to a meeting, right, and you're talking about what you've done, make sure to say, hey, this so-and-so, John, I had an issue and John helped me out and we were able to solve this problem, and so now I finished this task. You have no idea how much that means to the other person. That person might not be even expecting that. But the fact that you said that, it just means so much more. And now you're building this great relationship between your team. So make sure to give credit where it's due, okay? Other thing is, be open to new ideas, guys. Software development is freaking amazing, okay? You can build anything you want. You have the power in your hands to create so many amazing things. And so be very open when someone comes to you, hey, I got this new way of doing things, or maybe we should do it this way, or maybe we should do it this way. Don't just be like, no. Just say, hey, awesome, thanks, let me check it out. So yeah, be very open. And then the last important part is to provide constructive criticism. Don't be an asshole and say, I don't like this is crappy, this looks very bad. But provide something that a person can use and actually improve on. Say, hey, you can make this better through so-and-so. I have found this way to be a little bit better. If something doesn't look good, just say, hey, maybe you can improve by changing some of the colors, right? So basically, you're providing constructive criticism by saying how you can do things better. And don't just say, hey, this sucks, right? Nobody wants to work with that kind of a person. I personally have had people I worked with where they've said, hey, you know what? This sucks, it doesn't look good, it doesn't work good, you're not gonna last long in this company. And so guess what? That person, in about a few weeks, got fired. So don't be that asshole. So that is the last part, team cooperation. Again, just make sure to cooperate with your team. You're trying to build a relationship with this team, all right? Okay, moving on to the next skill is communication. Again, a very trivial skill for a developer, and I'll probably say like number 1 or number 2 skill. And let me give you a piece of advice or something that I've used for a long time. I've actually said when somebody asks me, hey, how do you communicate? How do you do your, how do you work? I say something like this. I say, I work on a push versus pull basis. And what does that mean? That means that I'm going to be pushing information towards you. I'm going to be the one that, letting you know things are going right or things are going not right, things are going well. I'm gonna be letting you know the status of things, right? Instead of you having to try and pull information out of me. Because nobody wants to be going to every developer or, if you're a freelance developer and trying to pull information in terms of, hey, what's going on in my program? I just paid you a couple $1,000. I have no idea what's going on, right? So you don't want to have the kind of relationship with your client. You want to have a relationship where you provide information, and the information and communication just flows freely throughout. And you have no idea how valuable that skill is in the freelancing world or even in the full-time world. That's actually the reason why I've been able to get raises at companies and so forth. And I've been able to get clients who love working with me and continue working with me. Okay, another skill is always be learning, guys. This is such an exciting industry. You can learn so much, from front-end development to back-end development to all these different frameworks that we have. And so don't be afraid to open up. Don't be afraid to go outside the comfort zone. Maybe not necessarily even on the thing that you're working on or the thing that you fully know. Because, taking something from here, and next thing you know, those skills that you've learned, it can contribute to something much bigger, right? And this can contribute to something that could be very useful for a company or, a freelancing gig. So yeah, take initiative on always be learning. And so as you expand your horizons on learning different and maybe doing different projects or learning different things, find better ways of improving maybe the process, the architecture, the performance. If, for example, you're working on a project, right, and you found a different architecture that you want to introduce because it's going to save us time and it's going to save us performance. So don't be afraid to go outside of that, to go outside that comfort zone, and to be that person who tries to improve and who cares about the product. Because that shows a lot, and that increases your value like you have no idea, guys. Seriously. And finally, the last one is take initiative. Meaning, don't just be the person who don't just be the person who just takes orders, right? You don't want to have a project manager or someone else comes to you and say, hey, just do this, and that's literally what you're doing. Be someone who introduces new ideas, who provides new solutions, who comes back and says, hey, maybe the way we're doing this is not so good. I've interviewed with many companies, and when they come to me and they tell me, hey, what is the number one thing that you think, when they come to me and tell me, what is the number one thing that you're most proud of in terms of yourself? I always say that, one, I communicate very well, and two, I'm a very research-based person, meaning I'm not gonna be just doing something because you told me to do it. When I have a task at hand, I'm gonna ask, okay, what's the problem? Is the solution solving the problem? And is there potentially a better way? And I've done that so many times. Somebody might come to me and I'll be like, no, we should do this because I've had this experience and because this is a better way and it will improve our process. It will improve so many different things. And that has increased my worth value so much more at a company. They see you as a trusted person. They see you as someone who is experienced, you guys. They see you as someone who has the expertise to take initiative and to go out there and to even lead potentially. So yeah, take initiative. Don't just be an order taker, okay? And so to kind of sum it up, as you see, a lot of these are soft skills. A lot of these are skills kind of between communication, from taking initiative to team cooperation. It's not just about what you know, but it's also on how you use what you know and how you work with others. Ask any developer and they'll say, I want to work with someone who is a pleasure to work with. I can teach them the skills later, but I want to work with someone who's just a pleasure to work with, to be around. Right? And so you want to focus on that too, not just the skills to learn the language or the framework, but to also work on yourself as a human being in terms of how you talk, how you communicate, how you provide criticism, all of that. So yeah, I hope this was helpful for you guys. I know it will be, and I'm sure this is a conversation that's going to be going on for a long time. So that's our take on skills to becoming a highly paid JavaScript developer. Thank you. On the last note, I want to ask you, what is your number one takeaway from this video? Post it in the Facebook group, post it in the comments here. What do you think is the number one thing you took away from this first video? We want to hear from you guys because that provides us great feedback and that provides better content for you. Have a good day, everybody. I'll see you in the next one.